So on the 15th of this month, a game by the name of Kingdom Come Deliverance will drop on the Nintendo Switch. And honestly, I'm really excited for it, but also kind of worried about it. Today, let's talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance, but before we get into that, please hit that like, subscribe button. That all helps the channel grow, and you want that to happen, right? You're a good person. Yes, of course you are. Anyway, let's get into Kingdom Come Deliverance. I first played this game years ago on my PlayStation 4. In fact, interesting story, it was the very last thing I rented from Family Video. I hadn't rented anything from Family Video in forever, and I happened to just stop by and saw that game there, and I thought, well, check it out. It looks kind of cool. And lo and behold, I don't know, like a month later, the Family Video went out of business. So, I don't know, just interesting story. But what I played of it, I had two different takeaways. And one of them was basically why I'm worried about it going to the Nintendo Switch. The other one, not so much. Now, if you haven't heard of Kingdom Come Deliverance, don't worry. You're not alone. This game wasn't as big as I thought it would have been, because there is so much to this game. You see, like I said, the one thing I'm worried about, especially with it going to the Switch, is perception. When you play this game, your perception of the world is so drastically different from when you start. You see, when you start the game, your name is Henry, and you're basically a blacksmith's son. You grow up in this little village. You're kind of a little, I don't know, you're just a teenager. Yeah, I was going to say derogatory words against Henry, but that's not fair. You hang out with your friends, you work a little bit for your dad, you get drunk, you get in fights, you do some stuff you probably shouldn't, but there is this world where you do interact with, like, the royalty, because your father is a blacksmith and he's one of the best sword makers around. And so you actually deliver a sword to the king. And in that moment, you feel like there's this epicness that you're going to be delivering this to the king. But as you play through this game, very early on, some really bad stuff happens to your little village, your little town there. And essentially, it has you fleeing that place. On horseback. It's a pretty crazy action sequence in the game and just a really crazy set of events, but this ends up starting your whole journey, and you end up visiting a lot of other kingdoms and realize just how small your kingdom was and how unimportant it really was. And even then, when you feel like you've been to one of the biggest cities and the biggest kingdoms, it's still not as big as what you really think it is, or it's bigger than you think it really is. Take that back. As the entire world just really grows in this game. And I find that incredibly cool. Now, my concern is, though, this is going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Can the Switch really do that? Like, does it have the capacity for that much of a world? And, I mean, we're talking about some crazy stuff where, like, you'll be, I don't know, visiting a ton of different other towns and villages and kingdoms, whatever, and every one of them has all of these little side quests. Some of them are main quests. They're very complex and deep, and I don't mean in a negative way. I just mean, like, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of, like, world building. The characters are incredibly interesting, and they're fun. Like, I remember one quest has you basically drunkenly trying to deliver a sermon, which is just hilarious. Like, it's not all negative or scary or dark, but there is also that aspect. And there were many times where I was 50, 80 hours into the game, and I would stumble upon a whole area that I've never seen before. And lo and behold, there were also some enemies. And you have to be careful in this game, because unlike a Skyrim or anything like that, this game is very realistic. And when I say that, I mean that to the detriment of poor Henry. As you see, Henry, like I said, he's a blacksmith's son. He's not been trained. He doesn't know how to use a sword or a shield, really how to wear armor. And so when the game starts, you're learning how to do all of that. And let's just say it's not easy for Henry or for you. You will die quite a bit in this game, especially early on. And even later on in the game, like I said, when you're 50, 80 hours in, you can't just Rambo in and kill a bunch of people, like bad guys or whatever, knights or bandits, or you have to be careful how you approach a battle. And by the way, if you're thinking this game is like super long, it totally is, but when I say 80 hours, I was doing a lot of side quests. I was exploring a lot, really just like having fun in this world. So I think that the game is, I don't know, around like 40 or 50 hours if you just want to like completely rush through the main storyline. But regardless, I will say that like this, by the way, does have like all the expansion packs and DLCs and all that other stuff. So who knows exactly how long this game is going to be. And that's what makes me worried because of how big the world is, how much there is to do, how many different characters there is to see. And no, it didn't have the best graphics, but it looked pretty good. All of that, to me, seems like problematic for the Switch. Because the Switch is a console that, well, I don't know who you blame, but Arkham Asylum had a problem there. Like, the recent Batman releases are probably just not ever going to get fixed. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they've just kind of given up on doing anything with them. So when I think about this game that really barely had any air to breathe when it was released on the PS4, I don't know how much care is going to be put into porting this to the Nintendo Switch. And that, for me, is what kind of has me worried. Because I think that if given the opportunity, this game could thrive. Like, I loved this game. It was just so out of nowhere for me. And I had never heard of it anywhere. Like, I hadn't heard anyone talk about it. I haven't heard any of that stuff. I just stumbled upon it and really enjoyed it. So, the idea that it's going to come to the Switch could have a second life, could have a lot of people looking at it. Maybe the devs get involved and think about making another one. Maybe they already are. I don't know. But my point is this is the perfect opportunity for it to fail or it to have a second chance at life. And I don't know. I'm really worried it's the first one. It's just because of the Switch's capability. And I hate saying that. I really do, because I think this game came out in like 2017, maybe 2018. It was like quite a while ago when this game dropped. And so, like there's a chance, because I think about it and I'm like, well, Skyrim runs on the Switch and it runs pretty well. And if it could just do that, then I think we have a real shot at having like really, really great game dropping on the Switch. But at the same time, I'm worried there's not a demo. I'm worried I haven't seen anyone talk about it yet. And of course, there's the price tag. The game is $50. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to bite the bullet and buy it at midnight on the 14th and be able to play it or whenever it actually drops on the eShop. And so I will give you an idea of what it's like. But I'm still worried the fact that the people who do buy it, and if it is problematic or it has some real massive issues, that could just be the death nail before it even gets a chance to be fixed. And I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if it needs to be. And I want to be fair on that. I've not played it at all on the Switch. I have no idea. I just thought I would talk about this game because I really do enjoy this game. And everything I've played on it was really fun. This world is really crazy and cool. It's like Skyrim, but yet like without the fantasy aspect and without like dragons. More like down to earth medieval times, like where life was really a struggle, that kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun. My other concern, like I said, as I said, there was two, is the difficulty, right? Like this game is not Souls-like. It's a different kind of difficulty. It's learning how to be successful in combat while also upgrading your character. Like in Souls-like, your character has the ability to, I don't know, take down the biggest bosses, I'm guessing. Like, Henry does not. You can block, and sometimes his block just sucks. Like, sometimes his attacks just miss. Like, he's not great. And you spend a lot of time, if you want to be good at combat, you spend a ton of time practicing and training with other knights. And there's an area where this becomes available. But if you do put in that time, it is incredibly rewarding and incredibly fun. And I just hope that all of that stuff is done right. Because if it's not, then this game would become incredibly frustrating. Like, so there's two things I'm worried about. Can they get the performance right for the combat? Can they get the world right in the Switch? Like, those two things I think are huge, and it has every opportunity to not be great. And I don't know, it sucks if it isn't, but at the same time, like, this is on my radar because I'm telling you, this could be one of the best games of the year. If any of you played it on the PS4, or I believe it's gotten to a few other consoles, then I think you'll know what I'm talking about, like how this is a fantastic game, but just kind of went under the radar for a long time and never really has been appreciated. And so, I don't know, if it does do the right thing on the Switch, this has the opportunity to be one of those games, especially in a year where it's kind of a down year on the Switch. Let's be honest, like we were hyped up for the dates to 2 remakes, the Luigi Mansion 2 and Thousand Year Door. Like, when are we going to get the dates on those? Like, games that we've probably already played. That is a big announcement this year. So, this could be a great position for Kingdom Come Deliverance. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought I would talk about it because I really like this game. And I never beat it, actually. And I feel like if it was on the Switch, which it is, I'm going to be playing the crap out of that game. And I'm going to be having a lot of fun with it if it's done right. And if not, I'm going to be crying and complaining, which is going to be bad for you guys because I'll be doing it here on this channel. Anyway, though, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Have you heard of the game? Are you excited for the game? Is this the first you're ever hearing about it? Anything and everything down in the comment section. Much appreciated. I love each and every one of you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.